Hey, it's Ace, and this is my son, Cade, and this week, a very special edition of The Meaningful Meeting. In honor of Father's Day, in honor of fathers everywhere, we're going to go back to my old podcast. Wait until you find out what I have in store for you today. I hope you'll love it, and it will mean something to you because it means the world to me. It's time to start the meeting.
Whatever you're going through, you will get through it because you're here, and that means you are not alone. This is The Meaningful Meeting. Now your host, Ace Cannon.
It's a very special day when it comes to The Meaningful Meeting. This is my son, Cade, who is now 20 years old. He'll be 21 in September. A lot of people remember, you've been in the radio family for a long time, you remember when Cade was born. But we found something really special while going through some old stuff. And we're going to go back 3 years to the old Ace at Large podcast, 4 years actually, to 2019. So in 2019, let's see, Peyton had been out of high school for a year, so you would have been a sophomore in high school.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So it was right at the end of your sophomore year of high school.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, that would be right. And Peyton died in a car crash in July of 2020. So this was kind of the Father's Day episode of my old podcast, Ace at Large, which aired in May of 2019. And I ran across this and thought, man, how perfect, or in June of 2019, and I thought how perfect this would be to play this year for Father's Day. So you remembered, we recorded this, I lived in the townhouse at the time,
yes.
Right?
Because I remember we sat down at the kitchen table,
yeah.
The living room table, and filmed it. And it was the first one we did as together because you did Peyton's before that one.
When she graduated high school the year before. And then I did yours when you graduated high school after that. So
yes.
This is the first time that me, you, and Peyton had all recorded together. So this was done in a townhouse. And at the townhouse at the time, ironically enough, Peyton lived on the top floor. Amanda and I lived on the second floor. And we recorded there on the bottom floor. Kate's bedroom was down the hall. So this is kind of special. And I honestly haven't listened to this in several years. Didn't even realize that I still had it. But I'm very thankful that I did and wanted to share it for Father's Day. It's me and my daughter Peyton and my son Cade just hanging out, having some fun from back in 2019. And I hope you enjoy this week's edition of The Meaningful Meeting. So this is the first time we've ever done the Ace at Large podcast, or any time with both of you. Have you ever even been on the radio with us, Cade?
No, never have.
Never?
Mm-mm.
Okay. Well, welcome to the world of podcasting, Cade.
Thank you.
Welcome. Okay. So I thought they had stuff they wanted to talk about, stuff they wanted to do, and yet I was told a minute ago, we're just going to wing it.
I mean, do you have stuff you want to talk about?
Not
Do you have
really,
any
no.
topics?
No,
or?
I thought this was kind of your deal.
My deal. This is your podcast. The ranting, whatever you call it,
Rantings of a lunatic
maniac.
Unless I'm right in here, I'm always right.
Yeah, I don't know, whatever that is.
All right, so let's do it this way then. Since Cade's never been on the podcast before, Cade, what do you think is the worst thing about being my son?
Worst thing?
Yeah.
About, let's just say, anytime we're in the car and someone wants to play music, you say no because you're in the car trying to rock out while playing air drums on the steering wheel of your truck.
If that's the worst thing, I'll take it any day of the week.
The worst thing for me is...
I didn't ask you the worst thing.
I know you didn't, but I just want to share the fact that all of a sudden I completed my freshman year of college and you are just on me about getting a job.
Yeah, I am.
But you act like we're not on the same page. Like
we are on the same
We're not on the same page. Maybe not the same page, but like the same chapter in the same book, basically.
We are not reading the same book.
Relatively close.
I am like chapter 10 of a book that's open on the coffee table and actively being read.
Yeah, and I'm like the table of contents. I'm like
are
right
the
there.
table of contents of a book that's up on the shelf that nobody plans to read for the summer.
So not true.
That is true. Here's the deal. So, you've got a pretty cushy life, Peyton.
I never said I didn't. Never said I didn't.
And for that reason, a lot of times during the summer and during this school year, I've treated Peyton kind of like a personal assistant. Like today, you ran
Can you cuss on the podcast?
You can't.
What, can you cuss on the podcast?
I can, but you can't.
I can't say one cuss word.
No.
One.
No.
Dad,
no.
One.
What's the word?
I can't
What does it start with?
I'm not his personal assistant. I've just become his bitch at this point. I'm serious. it's not your personal assistant. It's like, Peyton, like, drop this off, go grab this. Like, there's this that I need to pick up. My suit needs to go to the dry cleaners. Like, it's always.
Oh, did you pick up my dry cleaning yet?
No, you never told me to pick it up. You just told me to drop it
tomorrow
off.
I need you to pick up the dry cleaning and then drop that form off at the bank for me for the refinance for the house.
This is the exact thing I was talking about.
Well, here's the way I look at it. You're not paying for college. It's been taken care of.
It's not my fault that you were smart in planning for your kids' tuition. Good for you, Dad. Good for you. You did a really good job when you thought about that.
Then, you don't have a car note.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay.
And so, I help pay for your gas and everything.
Yes.
And I
That's
pay your
because
car
I run
insurance
errands for you. So the
because
gas
you run
is
errands for me.
justified. It's justified.
And then she does a lot of extra. Like she goes and picks up her brother and takes him where he needs to be because he can't drive by himself yet or anything like that.
Right.
So, that whole deal. So treating her kind of like a personal assistant.
Yeah, I guess.
And now it's time to,
stop
get
being
out
a
there and get a
personal
job.
assistant. I
That's
liked
right.
it so much better when you just gave me your card and told me to go do stuff.
yeah, you'll be in charge of your own. You'll be paying your own insurance and all that kind of stuff.
Oh, God.
So Peyton's out looking. Here's Peyton's idea of looking for a job. Peyton's idea of looking for a job is, I called my friend today and found out they might be hiring at her place, and then she's going to tell me more tonight when we get together and hang out at her house about what the job is about.
It's me, like, getting info,
That is not looking for a
I'm
job.
doing my research,
And then
am
she
I
did
not?
put in an application somewhere the other day, but did say that I asked, were they hiring? She goes, well, they gave me an application. Well, if they give you an application, that doesn't mean they're hiring. That means by law, I think they have to give you an application.
Here's how I view it. When it's gonna sound bad, but like when I've been raised the way I've been raised, and you do what you do, right?
What do you mean when you've been raised the way you've been raised?
Like
you've been raised to be responsible.
Well, yeah, obviously, and I'm a responsible human being. What I'm saying is that when you do what you do for a career, for a living, can't you just like tell somebody to hire me? Like,
no.
are you sure?
No.
You work with all your I don't know, whoever you.
What are you going to do
like,
for anybody that I know?
I don't know, stuff.
Name any one of my friends, and what are you going to do for them? Nothing. That you have no skill set for anything
Who's
that they
your
do for a living.
business manager? What's his name?
Adam.
Yeah. Does he need like
He lives in Connecticut, Peyton.
Oh God, I'm not going to Connecticut.
That was a bad
never
one. My other friend, Adam, Coach Adam.
Yeah?
Yeah. He sells concrete. What are you going to do for him?
Dude, advertise the concrete? I don't know. Walk around and get him some promo, help out with that, hype it up, get him some Instagram ads. I could really take it far.
So you see, we've reached an impasse here when it comes to having a job.
It's not like Dad can walk up to someone and be like, hey, hire my daughter, and be like that.
Yeah, that's not how it works. Thank you, Cade.
You're welcome.
Speaking of which,
Speaking of which, don't
school
nod
finished
your
up
head.
yesterday. When we come back from the baseball trip next week, J.O.B. time.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. Cade's got a lot of working out to do this summer and working on his basketball. He's going to come over and take care of the backyard here for me and stuff.
Well,
yeah.
It's either I don't or I get in trouble. So
You either do it or get in trouble. Okay.
either I don't do it and I get a call or a text message from him, or I do it and then he calls me. He's like, "Oh, you did a good job." And if I don't show up, it's a call going, "So where were you?"
Yeah, I'm on my way. Yeah. That's kind of the way it works. That's the way it works. Okay, so what's something y'all would like to know that you would like to ask me as we proceed through the first ever full family Ace at Large podcast? Okay.
Anything we can ask?
Yeah, what do you want to know? What would you like to ask? You came completely unprepared. You were the one that wanted to wing it. Yeah. Winging it's getting you nowhere right now, huh? Cade, no questions? What's one thing, Peyton, that you think everybody needs to know about Cade?
About Cade?
Yeah, since we've never
Oh,
had
that
Cade
should
on
be
the
interesting.
podcast before.
I talked about this in therapy yesterday. The fact that Cade literally doesn't care about anything unless it affects him personally, like individually. If something happens and it does not affect his life specifically, he just doesn't care. Which I like. It's not a bad thing. I'm quite envious of it though. Like he just, how do you just not care about any? Like a good example.
Well, here's how I would say. Not that he doesn't care.
Just doesn't affect him.
Cade's a really laid back guy. And I think he comes by that honestly because my grandfather, from everything I've heard about my grandfather when he was younger.
Yeah.
And I mean, my grandfather died when I was in high school, sophomore in high school. But he was extremely laid back.
Right.
And like,
so what, you think that Gene just skipped you and G-Dad and went straight to Cade?
well, this is G-Mama's dad. My
oh,
mom's
okay,
dad.
okay.
And so, yeah, unbelievably laid back. And
That makes sense, then.
Your grandmother has said that he acts exactly like my grandfather. And he was born with reddish colored hair.
I got the hair.
And my grandfather thought I was the greatest thing that walked on the face of the earth.
Did he really?
Absolutely,
That's
he did.
sweet.
24/7, he thought I was the greatest thing ever.
Did you not do anything to like get in trouble with you, like when you were a
There
kid?
was no getting in trouble with him. I couldn't
I
get in
guess
trouble
so, yeah.
with him.
What about? I'm talking about
I
like
could have set his house on fire.
as
and he would
kids
say, it's
though,
okay, we figured it out.
like you and Uncle Alan and Uncle Benji and like when y'all were growing up, like what would you say was the worst thing, either individually or as a group, that you did to get in trouble as a kid? Like the one time you can think of that G Mama was going to flip her top.
Oh no, there were a couple things that were worse than that G Mama doesn't know about.
Like if one memory, because I know like mine would be whenever me and Cade hit the baseball and it shattered the back window of your truck when like 2 weeks after you had gotten it.
I wasn't terribly upset about that. I wasn't really bad. That
Dad,
angry
you were
about
so
that.
mad you didn't speak.
Yeah, I know. I was upset.
I
at
had
the moment, but it
never
was okay.
experienced that before. You just, there was let me tell this quick story.
Okay.
David got his truck, which he had been wanting for so long. He like really wanted it, finally got it, was super excited about it. Nice, pretty, space gray looking color, sitting on the driveway. He had literally had it like 2 weeks.
2 days.
And 2 days.
I'd had it 2 days.
And yeah, sorry, I couldn't hear with Kate in my ear saying it every 3 seconds. 2 days, 2 days, 2 days, 2 days.
Well, he wants to be part of the
But,
podcast. We want to have 2 microphones.
And me and
I
Kate
don't
were
share.
playing baseball in the driveway, which I don't know, you left us unsupervised, so I really don't think it could be our fault. But we were out there playing baseball. Cade laid in a perfect pitch. I hit the crap out of this baseball. It was a beauty, Dad, a home run. It just went straight into the back windshield of your truck. And then there was a moment where like all the glass had shattered and it was on the ground. And I was like, wow, that's what it feels like to have your life flash before your eyes at the age of like 12. And then me and Cade panicking and being like, who's going to go tell him? Because like, I'm not going in there. And I went and told mom she needed to tell you because I wasn't going straight to you. Mom told you. And then all of you came outside on the driveway to assess the damage. And you did not say anything. You stood on the end of the driveway, crossed your arms, took a deep breath, looked from the truck to me to Cade, back to the truck to me to Cade, turned around and went inside. And Mom looked at me and said, you better get a broom and start sweeping. And I was like, he's going to kill me.
It was bad.
That was the scariest moment of my life to date. I really thought you were like, the fact that you didn't yell, I was like, I've never seen him get so upset that he's not said anything.
Cade was small. Peyton's older by 3 years, and Cade was relatively small.
Yeah.
He was in, let's see, the truck. I got that truck in 2012 because I'm still driving it today.
Right.
So 2011, maybe I think I got it. Yeah, it was a 2012 model. I got it in 2011. And yeah, so he would have been, what, 8 years old?
Yeah, we were young.
Yeah, you were 11 or 12 at the time.
Scary business.
Yeah,
man.
just little Cade standing in the bed of the truck staring at me, and I just stared at him. I didn't say a word. I walked away, and I heard him go,
We were terrified.
wait, he's dying to say something. What?
I mean, I have bad memories of that truck. First the glass, and then me having to pick up the wet newspaper.
Oh my God.
Okay. We don't have time to do this right now. We're running late. But yeah, and I don't want to share too many of these stories. But we have we'll share this story in a second because it's pretty funny. It's
You have to.
It's the angriest Cade has ever been at me in his entire life. And luckily, he didn't say outside what he said inside.
Oh.
Or he might have gotten punched in the head. Because at 15, I think you're clearly old enough for your dad to kind of slap you upside the head a little bit every now and then.
You say this? Did G-Dad ever pop you?
No, G-Dad never hit me.
So where do you get this idea that like popping your
Nobody can hear you. Nobody can hear what you're saying.
If G-Dad never popped you as a kid, then where do you get this idea that like Cade's old enough to get hit?
G-Dad lived out of town a lot of times when I was 15. And two,
Okay.
I was really good as a kid. I didn't get in any trouble. I was helping him out all
We
the time.
really, as kids, we really didn't do much wrong. That's true. Like you really, like there's a lot of other kids that I could be like, they did this, this, and this. Like y'all are lucky me and Cade were like respectful. Like we weren't bad kids.
Were we lucky, or does that mean we were good parents?
Oh, I guess it means you're good parents.
Thanks.
I guess you did something right
All
somewhere
right.
along the way.
There's more of the Ace at Large podcast. I don't know if it's worth you coming back for.
It's worth it. I'll still be here.
Coming up next. All right, you ready? Mm-hmm. All right, I'm trying to keep track of So that was about a 10-minute segment. It was good.
Is it about how long you run each one?
Don't forget, welcome all of your comments, questions, ideas, thoughts at Ace at Large, because this is a slightly different edition of the Ace at Large podcast today. If you missed the first segment, both my kids are here because they've been dying to do this podcast together, and the company, we just bought some stuff that allows us to be more portable with recording. So we thought we'd try it out by sitting here in my townhouse and doing an edition of Ace at Large with Peyton and Kate, who apparently have nothing to say or share at this moment.
Oh, are we? What would you like us to share?
Well, where were we? We were talking about. Oh, okay. So the most angry that Cade has ever been.
The wet newspaper. To set it up.
Yeah. All right.
There had been. Everybody gets newspaper at the bottom of their driveway. Does anybody? Hey, hang on. Does anybody drop it in the comments below? Everybody, do you read the newspaper? Like the newspaper that comes to your house? Do you think anybody legitimately opens that and reads that anymore?
It's it's like the smaller town. It's the suburbs local paper that you don't pay for. They just sell the ads, and everybody gets one thrown. Like once a week, you get one.
But does anybody read that? I'm
sure some people do. Yeah, a lot of people do.
Okay.
To find out more about their particular area.
Did you say G-Mama does?
Not always. G-Mama
yeah, my grandma.
G-Mama's like, what, 80 though? Like
she's 77.
77.
She
I'm
has
sorry.
Alzheimer's. You want to pipe down on that?
Oh, I didn't say anything about that at all. What?
Just saying. You want to ease up
You act like G-Mama's going to listen to the podcast. Like she knows how to work anything other than the air conditioner in her house.
So that's questionable.
Even if the air conditioner in her house.
So, that paper was laying down there. And I forgot, was I upset with Kate already?
You had told him 2 days in a row to pick it up and throw it away in the house, and he hadn't done it. So
I had already,
we pulled in the driveway for you to drop us off, and it was still down there. And you stopped at the bottom of the driveway, and you were like, Cade, I'm tired of telling you, get out of the truck, pick up the newspaper, just throw it in the back. And Cade was like, Dad, like it's raining, and it was barely sprinkling.
It was raining just enough to make it stick to the
and he was not happy first that you were making him get out in the rain to pick up newspaper. So then you got in like a little argument about it back and forth for a couple of minutes where you were like, I'm done talking to you about it. Like, get out and clean it up.
Saying to him, maybe you misunderstood. It's not a conversation.
Yeah.
Get out of the truck.
I told you to do it. Do it.
Yeah, I'm not discussing it with you. I'm telling you, get out and do it.
He got out, slammed the truck door closed, because then you cracked the window and you yelled at him, stop slamming my doors, boy. And I was like, oh, it's going now. Cade got out, started picking up the newspaper, and it was so wet that the newspaper started to break apart. That was the next moment where Cade's anger started to build because it was breaking apart in his hands, and you were yelling at him to make sure he grabbed the rest of it off the pavement. And then he was getting mad because he was like, I'm out here in the rain and I'm picking up wet newspaper.
Yeah, he was talking, he was yapping, muttering under his breath, and I started making comments.
He acted
you're doing a good job.
Yeah.
Looking good. Get it all. Looking good.
You were patronizing him.
Yeah, the faster you get done, the less wet you're going to be. And then he went inside for something. I forgot why he went inside.
You told him to go get a trash bag to then get the wet newspaper out of the bed of your truck to throw away in the trash
I didn't
bag.
Want the wet newspaper in the bed of my truck. And he went inside. And it turns out when he went inside, your mom was inside the house. And he walked in and he had a long sleeve shirt over a V-neck T-shirt, which is his standard look.
And I chucked that thing across the living room.
Yeah, he tore the long sleeve shirt off and threw it on the couch. And your mom told me later that Cade said, I'm 15 and things around here are about to change.
Mom was like, whoa, what?
Yeah, and I remember she told me that her instructions to him were, do not say that when you go back outside or your father will beat you to death in the driveway. And then you came back outside and you were angry.
Oh.
And you and I were supposed to go watch the race after that. We were just dropping Peyton off. And Kay was going to come back and watch the NASCAR race with me, and he got angry, and then he wouldn't come. And when he walked by me, I said, you ready to get in the truck, go watch the race? No, sir.
Nope.
And he just stormed inside.
Went inside. You asked me one time. I was at the door. I was opening it. As soon as I turned around, you asked me one time. I said, no, sir, again. Door was shut. End of conversation.
One of the great days.
For you, maybe. Not for me.
The most angry Cade's ever been in his whole life. Cade never gets angry, but that was
Well,
about
at
as
the
angry
same
as he's ever
time,
been.
I did get angry that one time when I used to play baseball. I chucked my helmet against one of the seats doing baseball, and was being mad. Next thing you know, the corner of my eye, I saw you book it into the dugout, and I knew instantly, well, I'm screwed. I'm screwed.
I was one of the coaches, and you don't throw. There's no need. You don't get to. You weren't old enough to be able to throw a.
I wasn't
helmet.
old. What?
You were about 7 or 8 years old. You don't throw helmets. Calm down. Ease up a little bit. So this is the Ace at Large podcast, available every Thursday noon. iTunes, Google Play Music, acetj.com. And Peyton just finished her freshman year of college. Cade just finished his sophomore year of high school. And, things are a little different these days. And it's kind of weird. We're recording this, and Amanda's sitting upstairs watching TV because we've taken over the downstairs
Oh,
of the
yeah.
townhouse.
Different how?
Well, things are very different from before you started high school. I mean, not only, have
My
your
parents are divorced. Is that different?
they're-
Well,
yeah.
I didn't mean to make that sound like super harsh. I didn't mean for that to come out like super harsh the way that it sounded. It's not that big of a deal. It sounded sounded like I had a bone to pick about it. I don't.
It had a heavy tone.
I didn't mean for it to come out that heavy. I'm sorry. I didn't mean for it to sound that way. Oh, okay. Question.
Okay.
Thought about it. So yesterday, kind of another heavy note, but I'm trying to figure this out. So yesterday, the people that my dog passed away like a month ago, Dolce. I had to
Right.
put her down unexpectedly.
Peyton had this dog for 5 years.
Yeah, they called me yesterday to.
Wait, and before somebody messaged us, it was a rescue. So yeah.
Oh yes, I rescued her. I gave her a great life. She was a happy dog. Then she got diabetes all of a sudden and
None
just
of us were even
died.
dogs could get diabetes.
It was not good. But yeah, they called me yesterday and they said that within the next 2 to 5 business days, I can go pick up her ashes.
Right.
And I was trying to figure out what I wanted to do with them. And then it's such a bad thought because it's so screwed up because it's my dead dog. But is it funny or not funny if when I pick up her ashes and I have her urn in the passenger seat of my car to take a picture with it and be just picked up Dolce? Is that funny or no?
I think it's kind of funny.
It's
but
not morbid, is it? Because I totally,
it's a little
I miss
morbid,
the dog.
but
Don't
yeah.
get me wrong, but I feel
you miss the dog a lot.
my only way through emotions is comedy. So I feel if I make a joke after I pick up her ashes, I'll be less sad about the fact. Yeah, if I'm joking
That's
about
fair.
it, then it's less upsetting that
Yeah.
I just picked up my
But
dead dog.
If you post that picture, people are going to give you crap about.
Oh, I wouldn't post it, but
Oh.
send it to my friends who know what happened
Well,
and
then that was
you.
fine.
I thought
Totally
that
good.
would be okay. I don't know.
I would laugh.
Okay, good.
I would laugh. It's totally fine.
I feel the only way to deal with it is through humor.
Yeah.
It makes it less sad. What did you want to say?
I was gonna say at least maybe if you do post a picture, at least have it decide. At least say I miss you or something like that. At least
Yeah,
so at
don't
least you.
post it. Don't post it. You don't need that hassle. I was never going to. Yeah, that's good. Don't worry about that.
I mean, I did send you that picture yesterday of Jackie and Skylar in a picture in the Lake Norman Guidance Council room saying, "Thank you, Lowe's Foods people."
I want to know, now that you're going into your junior year of high school and you have your first serious relationship, I want to know how that's going, what that's like.
Kate has a girlfriend.
Mm-hmm.
It's his first girlfriend.
Of what, 3 months, 4 months?
Yeah.
3 months, okay.
She's very nice.
Very sweet. I really like her.
Shockingly for Kate, she's very nice.
Yeah, she's very kind.
She's very friendly and talkative and
So
really kind.
when it comes to the football year, we're gonna have some problems. Well, when the football season comes back, we're gonna have some.
She
problems.
goes to a different school.
Not just a different school. She goes to a rival school. What are you talking about?
But let's get through the summer first because you don't drive yet. You can't drive by yourself yet.
No.
Yeah.
I mean, at least you trust me enough to have the door shut. But when Peyton's with Jake, you tell her always have the feet on the floor.
Who said I
door
trusted
open.
you enough to have the door shut? Who said that?
Okay,
I didn't
you
say
at least
that.
trust us to have a feet in the bed. That's what you said.
Foot on the floor. 1 foot on the floor, door open at all times.
And then with Peyton, it's both feet.
Yeah, you don't need to have people in your bedroom. That's fine.
The other day, I noticed something. I'm sure you did it on purpose, but I noticed it. I never mentioned anything. When Jake was over here on our 2 years, and we were literally sitting upstairs watching live PD on my bed. My
I mean,
door
you're
was
19
open.
Now that's you could whatever.
But when you got home, it was you were coming upstairs to check on us or see what we were doing. And the whole way up every step, you were banging drumsticks. And I knew it was you trying to give a signal, like I'm coming. In case anything was happening,
That's
like
right.
here I am.
That was the sign
and
of
like halfway up the stairs, I was like,
my townhouse right now.
it was like, Dad, just come up. I was like, just come upstairs. Like the whole way up, you were like, I'm home. And I was like, yeah, like I know, like you can't walk upstairs. I don't need signals every 2 steps that you're like on your way. Like nothing's happening. It was so funny though. Jake was like, we should shut the door real quick and just start like making noises. And I was like, he would actually have a heart attack.
would
I was
not
like,
take
I
that
can't
well.
know. I was like, I know you think that's funny, but it's so not funny.
Because my townhouse is 3 floors.
Right.
And Peyton lives here now on the top floor.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, she's 19. You're 19. You
Yeah.
come and go, whatever. It's
Gonna be
fine,
20
you know.
July 3rd. If anybody, I'll drop my Venmo below if anybody wants to send me money for my birthday. Just my 20th. I'm also in debt to my father, like almost $1,000. So if you want to, I'll start a GoFundMe if you want to help me out with that.
Yeah. Your father's out of the concert ticket business.
Dad, you not completely. We talked about Wiz, Dad. I gotta see Wiz.
I've asked to get you a pair for free.
Gotta
but
see my baby Wiz. Come
I'm
on,
just saying, it ain't gonna happen probably.
Dad. Why do you hate me?
We got more coming up on the Ace at Large podcast. Hang on. By the way, they did say they could probably get you 2 lawn for Wiz. No problem.
2 or 3.
Just 2 right now, maybe 4.
If you could score 4, let me know. I'm not taking you to Wiz with me.
I asked for 4. Whatever. All right, you ready? Stop. Reset it. Do y'all have anything you want to ask me? You want to talk about before we pick up? Okay.
I don't know. I think it's going well the way we're just talking about stuff.
At Ace at Large is the Twitter and the Instagram and the Snapchat, and I hope you will offer some feedback, ideas, thoughts, as it's a rather different edition of Ace at Large today. We're in the living room of my townhouse, sitting in the breakfast nook.
Don't ever say that again. The
With my kids.
breakfast
We had
nook.
this new equipment that the show got that we kind of invested in to kind of do these things and be more portable with it. And so both my kids are here for the first time. Peyton and Cade are on today's edition of the Ace at Large podcast, which is kind of weird because we're sitting at the kitchen table, the dining room table. It's the same thing. And we're recording the podcast into my computer, but at the same time, like Amanda's upstairs in the bedroom.
Yeah, now that
watching
Amanda's
TV.
gone, we can talk bad about her, right?
Was there ever a moment? Was that,
No, I'm kidding. I'm joking.
so okay, that's interesting though because there was a long time. There were several years that nobody knew that your mom and I were separate.
Yeah,
They didn't know anything until we were divorced.
right.
So I'd kind of kept that hidden from everybody.
But yeah, because y'all just didn't get like, it wasn't like you were together, then you separated, then you divorced. It was like a long,
It was a long process.
yeah, there was like a long process in there.
And so then I told everybody about that, and then a few months after that,
Yeah.
after we made the announcement on the radio and told everybody and everything, it was after that I met Amanda.
Yeah.
And then it was almost a year before Cade met Amanda. He
Cade met her
Amanda
before
first
I did. Yeah.
because we were going to the race.
Yeah, that's right.
And
What was your first impression of her, Cade?
Cade doesn't care because Cade just wanted to go to the race. He doesn't
I mean, we went to the race and everything. I mainly I wanted to go to a race, but at the same time, I was like, you know what? I'm in 8th grade now. I might as well. I was 8th year or 7th grade, one of those 2 years.
Yeah, 8th grade.
I was old enough, and I was like, you know what? I might as well just go ahead and be here now.
Wait, you would have been in the 9th grade, Cade.
You
It would have been a
sure?
year ago.
No, because in
No, you're right, Kate. It was
Yeah.
a year and a half ago.
Yeah.
it was over a year and a half ago. Just over a year ago before your
Yeah.
senior prom. Okay, so it was about a year and a half
Yeah,
ago,
well,
Kate,
you-
the October race. Yeah.
well, Peyton also was mailed the day she was coming over, and Amanda had to go sit in a car in the rain due to
no, that's not the same.
That's
the
a different
wrong
story. The day that
Okay,
I met
so wait.
Amanda was junior or senior prom because I
Yes.
told you I was coming to bring that cooler because you were in charge of drinks for the group dinner.
Yes.
And you were like, just set it on the driveway. And I was like, no, I've got time to kill. Like, I'm coming inside. And you were like, no. And I was
Well,
like, what do
it
you
wasn't
mean
because
no?
I was worried because I wanted
Amanda
to make
was
certain
worried about meeting me for the first time.
Well, and we were waiting until you said you were ready, and I was like, "Hey, just so you know, Amanda's
Yeah,
here." And you-
I was like,
okay, I wanna
"That's
come in and meet her."
fine, I'll come
Okay,
inside.
well then everything's great. Then.
yeah, I didn't have a problem with it.
All right, so Kate, you met her first,
yeah.
yeah, and everything went fine.
Oh, yeah.
Your first impression.
She was very nice and respectful, and she would if she wanted to go get something to eat or drink, she would ask and everything. So she was really fine. Nothing. I never had a problem. Though,
That's all it takes to be.
Yeah,
she
though-
was nice, and she offered me food and beverages. So all good.
was like, she's good for
She's great. She's
though,
good people. I
one
like
of
her.
one of my favorite stories about you and Amanda is when you first started dating Amanda. We technically first started dating again. We were sitting in we were in your old apartment.
Yeah.
And you'd asked me and Peyton we wanted to go to a concert, like both of us, and we both didn't want to. So then I'm pretty sure you took her with you. And when we asked you that day, and you're like, yeah, we confronted you, and we asked, and you're like, yeah, I took someone from the radio station.
I took a friend, is what you said. And I was like, Dad, like, you took a date. And you were like, no. And Cade was like, Dad, like, if it's a girl, it's okay. And you were like, no, I did. Stay out of my business, guys. I'm an adult. Stay out of my business. And we were like, if you took a date, it's fine. Like, we're just curious. And you were like, so what if I did? And I was like, nothing. So what if you did? We're just asking. And you were like, no, just, you know what? You stay out of my business. I'll stay out of yours. Okay. And I was like, he obviously isn't ready to talk about it yet.
Well, I didn't know how to play that because if you knew, then you would. I had just met her. We hadn't known each other very long at all. I think it was one of our first dates. We'd gone to the Train concert.
Yeah.
I think it was. That was like the first date that we ever.
I wanted to go, and I was like, I have no interest to go to see Train. So you said you were going to go.
Yeah, that was one of the first dates, I think, the first or second thing we'd ever done together. And then I didn't know how y'all would feel about it. Then you'd ask questions.
So-
and then I didn't know how you'd feel about
So
how,
my favorite
how old,
moment-
how
my-
she was young, and I was thinking too much.
My favorite moment in that entire
conversation.
conversation was him going, no, I just took a friend. And I'm like, all right, we leave it there. And like 5 minutes later, this man goes with, would y'all mind if I took a date? And that was like, that was the go ahead. Yeah, he definitely took, we knew he took a date, but then that was you falling telling us, yeah, I took a date. But you didn't want to be like, yeah, I took a date. You just want to be like, so what if I did?
So what if I did? It's not true. Well, I didn't want it to be weird for y'all. I was worried about y'all, and then you'd ask questions, and I didn't know how y'all would react to how old she was at the time. You know, but it worked
Yeah.
out fine.
I mean, yeah, obviously.
Yeah, what?
I mean, yeah.
What does that mean? Yeah.
No,
what?
I mean nothing. There's nothing else to it. I was just saying,
okay.
like, yeah.
Okay.
I was agreeing with you. There was no second meaning behind that.
Good. Okay. Thank you very much. I appreciate
Correct.
that.
Yes.
What else do you want to talk about?
But you try to change the subject.
And, yeah, and so the first time you met her, Peyton, was here before your senior prom in high
Yeah,
school.
because
the
you
day of
tried
your
to
senior
tell me
prom.
not to come inside. And I was
Well,
like, are you
again-
okay? And you were
again,
like, listen, I have to tell you, like, Amanda's here. And you were like, I understand if you're not ready to meet her. This is not me trying to make you. I didn't know you were coming by. And I was like, Dad, like, I can literally come inside for 20 minutes and, like, have a conversation. It's perfectly fine.
And for everybody who doesn't know, it was a Saturday morning, and I had left it completely up to the kids. You know, whenever you're comfortable, whatever's good for
Yeah.
you, whatever was good for everybody. She was totally cool with it. And it
Which
was
I
all
want
good.
everybody to know that, like, through you, I guess, starting to date again or whatever you call that, I don't know. But like you and Amanda starting to date and whatnot, like you were really good always. Which it's not like it's not a shock. Like I feel like this is how every adult should be. But you were really good about like making sure everything was on me and Cade's terms. Like I'm not
thank you.
like if I'm gonna do something, I want it to be okay with you for like first and foremost. Like I honestly think if we had met Amanda and me and Cade both together were like we do not like her. Like I don't like her. I really don't think that you would keep like seeing her.
That's probably not true.
Really.
Probably not.
If me and Cade both were open, like she's rude, I don't like her, just like something's up with her, like no.
I know, but she's really pretty.
That's it. If we were like, she's got a bad personality, Dad, like this isn't good, like I don't want to be around her ever, like you would keep dating her?
I'd be like, oh yeah, but she's really pretty. It's okay.
Oh, okay, that's fine then, right? That's how that works.
No, that would have an impact.
Okay,
on
if
that,
you would
absolutely.
not put, I'm going to cut his hands off in a second.
But he would like to talk. You're holding
I
the
understand
microphone.
that, but if he would just be like tap me once, I'd be like,
Okay.
yeah,
well,
pass
he was
it
giving
over.
you a hand signal before.
Hey-
You wouldn't give him the mic, so now he's trying to.
That's his hand. I'm going to sit right here for the next 5 minutes, and then as soon as you stop talking, I'm going to keep. That's what he's been doing, like this.
Yeah.
That's his hand
She's
signal.
holding
Dad.
her hand against.
That's
my
his hand
Okay.
signal.
What? That-
Just tap
he's
me.
trying to get your attention.
Just
he wants,
tap me.
Okay, now he'd like to talk.
Would you like to talk?
He has
Yes.
something he'd like to share.
Goodness. See, you did good raising me. Just I don't know what happened with Kate,
Now
but
you're
that was
hogging
just
the
like
mic
a,
just to be annoying. Let him have
yeah.
the
Now I'm
microphone.
just trying to make
Yeah,
him
give him
angry.
the
How
microphone
long do you
now.
think I can go till it like really starts to irritate him? See, and that's not fun too. Cade gets to pop me now, but I can't hit him back because
You
he's
can hit him
bigger than
back.
I can't because he's bigger than
Exactly.
me. I'll get dropped in like 2 seconds.
Yeah,
That's
he's
not
much bigger than
fun.
you now. All right, give him the microphone.
Though you have to remember, this is the guy you're talking about. That anytime we go to a race, like when the race switched over to Monster Energy, they would have the girls come out, and he knew I was dating someone, or like I liked someone, and he'd be like, "So, aren't those girls pretty?" and stuff like that. You're talking to a guy that tries to get me to tell him if someone's pretty or not every day.
Yeah, I was just the way my dad was with me. I was just curious, like which one of those. Like,
Though at the same
trying to see,
time-
I was trying to find out what your
Don't-
type is.
why would you
Like,
take-
Do you like the blonde? Do you
At
like
the same
brunette?
time,
What are
why would you take
into?
notes from G-Dad?
Good point. I'm not going to fight that with you. I'm just saying, I was curious to know what you like, what you don't like, what kind of girls are you attracted to. I thought maybe there might be some common ground for conversation there, but apparently not, because Kate doesn't like to say like, "Oh, I think."
Cade's
the
just not an
blonde is
open
hot.
person. He just
Yeah.
doesn't. He's
He
not a
doesn't
very
talk about
open, sharing
anything.
person.
Yeah, Peyton will talk about anything. Cade talks about nothing unless he has to tell you for a reason.
Are you excited for when Cade graduates high school?
Sure.
Like now that you've gone through one graduation with me, like
Yeah.
did you enjoy it enough to be like, oh yeah, I'd love to watch Cade graduate? 'Cause,
Oh,
like,
absolutely. It's
I
gonna be great.
sweat my butt off the whole time. So like I am not excited to do that a second time.
It was hot. We'll plan ahead a little better for the next one.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a hot day. Yeah, I'm excited because that just like when Kate graduates,
What, you're just done after that? Both kids
what a
are out
relief
and
that's gonna
done.
be. It's be like, oh, deep breath.
Really?
Like, oh,
Will you do a
thank God.
podcast with him like you did with me before he graduates?
No, because I love you more.
Oh God, that sucks for you, doesn't it? Good. That
Of course I
sucks.
will. No, I absolutely will.
I feel bad for Cade. What were we doing? The GoPro racetrack.
Yeah.
Cade was the one that told me about it. Y'all were doing the event
he's not
there.
old
He
enough
was
to drive
so
it, yeah.
excited. He was like, "We're gonna get to drive up." And then you on the phone, you were like, "Cade, like you have to be 18 and have a
You gotta be-
license.
had
Like
to be
you
18.
can't
It was
can't do
it.
it."
was a Grin Kids fundraiser. We had a huge go-kart race, and it was great. And then Kay was disappointed to find out you have to be 18 to drive
He
the
was
go-karts.
so excited about it.
Kind of bummed him out a little bit. Yeah.
But yeah, that disappointed me. You know what really disappointed me and Peyton? That the pretzel thing closed down before we even got there.
Well, they were there from like 10 to 5. and y'all
Still,
didn't get there by
right
5
before it
o'clock
got like
and food
really good, they're like, "No, we're gonna close it down."
Can't help you. Auntie Anne's.
Yeah, and the ants.
Auntie Anne's, if you're listening, I turned 20 July 3rd. I'm going to have a party, a nice dinner. If you would like to show up at my house and just sit on the driveway and provide pretzels and pink lemonade for everybody, I would not be opposed to that. That sounds wonderful. Can we do that?
What?
Just have like a catering truck, like a food truck, park at the house and
I
feed
told
everyone?
You, 20 is not a big birthday. Nobody cares.
Yeah, for everybody listening to this podcast, do you like to just make your kids feel like crap? Because that might just be my dad. I'm not sure. He just refuses to acknowledge the fact that my birthday is coming up.
No, I didn't say I refuse to acknowledge it. I just said 20 is not a birthday that you go over the top for.
I'm not saying over the top.
21's a big one.
Right.
We've got a nice plan together for 21.
Right? 18 was a big one. Then we did.
18 was a big one.
Yeah. And then
You know.
19, we were in Poland for my 19th last
Yeah,
year.
you and I
which
were on
was
your senior trip to
super
Poland.
cool.
We had
Yeah.
a great time that night.
But I feel like 20, like I'm out of my teens. Like we got to do something. Have a dinner, like hang out. I don't
We have
know.
dinner. We'll throw some steaks on the grill out here. You can invite Jake over. Perhaps here's a novel concept: your boyfriend takes you out for a nice dinner and goes.
No, I'm
super,
talking
super
like
nice.
like a group of friends type of thing.
We can do that here. That's fine. But
Okay.
nobody wants to hear us party plan on the podcast right now.
Jake, did you say Jake was going to take me to dinner? Jake told me that if we got married, I'm lucky if I'm going to Hilton Head or Myrtle Beach for
Well,
our
then
honeymoon. Are
gotta
you kidding
consider-
me?
You got to consider that into your marriage proposition. You know what I'm saying?
Marriage
You
proposition.
got to think about that when it comes to this is what my future is going to be. If
My
that's what you
future's
want
going to be.
your
I will
future to
accept
be.
nothing less than a 6-carat diamond ring, and that's how we're rocking. So
Well, I think you better find a new boyfriend because Jake's not buying you. Even if he can
He's
afford it, he's
not.
not buying you a 6-carat diamond ring.
no, God, no.
Okay, we got to wrap this up. Last thoughts? Anything anybody wants to share, say, whatever?
Do you know how many listeners you have on this podcast?
Yeah, I kind of know, but I don't want to talk about it.
Why?
I mean, a few thousand people are going to hear it. Thousands of people are going to
That's
hear
pretty cool that a few thousand people are going to hear it.
Yeah.
Does that mean I can plug my social media for followers?
it. No. It does
Can't do
not,
that?
because you might get some creepy followers, and nobody wants that.
It's creepy. That's what happens whenever you post pictures and you tag me and Kate in it. immediately after posting pictures, I get follow requests from like 30, like, and it's not bad, but like grown adults. Like I'm 19. So like these are like 40-year-old parents that follow me. And I'm like, no, Todd from Arkansas, you cannot follow my page. Your 2 kids are in your profile picture. Like, no, we're not going to do this today.
This was fun. I enjoyed having you.
It was. But
are you going to say something, Cade?
I was
you gotta
gonna
go, man.
I was going to talk with somebody, and I was like, no, I'm just going to go with it. When we were talking about my junior year of high school.
Yeah.
It hit me. I've taken.
You haven't even been to your junior year.
I know. I'm just saying. No, but it hit me because I'm being a junior. I'm gonna have to take the ACT? Is that what it is?
SAT.
Yeah. Whatever it was, I was thinking about. I was like, do you guys? I'm about to be a junior. I've never even taken it, and my cousin that is in 8th grade or whatever took it and made a 30 out of 36 on it.
7th grade.
7th grade, still
one of the top 458 people in the country in the 7th grade.
You know how much pressure that puts on me?
None. Don't worry about it.
None?
No. There's no pressure on you from that.
We're not expecting you to get a 33.
Yeah, we're not.
Wow.
Yeah, we're not.
I feel love. Feel
we're not
love.
expecting that. Well, I've enjoyed this. It's been fun. Maybe we'll do it again sometime if everybody likes it. If you love comments at Ace at Large, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat. Would love to hear from you. Your thoughts on today's Ace at Large podcast.
Who y'all like better, me or Peyton? I know it's me. I kind of look like my dad. Everyone likes my dad, so everyone likes me.
Cade thinks that the fact that you 2 look alike gives him some sort of like superiority over everybody. Like, oh, because you're brunette and you look nothing like David. Like, oh, I'm better than. I'm 3 years younger than you, but like I'm better. Like that. It's not how that works. Just because you have red hair doesn't mean you win.
Well, we got to go.
Okay.
All right. I love y'all very much.
Yep, we love you too. This is when you say it back, Cade.
I do say it back.
I text them, just so y'all know, just as a side note, last thing, I text them every night. And we have like our own little thing. I'll text them like, got
every
you first.
night without fail.
I go, got you first. And they text back, got you last. But usually it's just Peyton that texts me back.
I live here too. Like I see you and tell you goodnight and give you a hug. And then I go upstairs to my room and get the text. And then I still text you back. And I'm like, wow, like where's Cade? Like
occasionally he pops in there a couple nights a week.
Yeah, but when he pops in, though, everything that he types is misspelled. So then everybody just attacks him, and then Cade doesn't say anything else. He's done better lately. That's the best is when Cade doesn't talk in that group message, and then when he does send something, it's just you and I being like, "That's not the right your Cade." And Cade just stops answering after that.
I don't blame him. Yes, Cade. We gotta go.
I know. Though my favorite thing is I just looked at it again. One day you texted me in the group chat. It's like I tried texting you and calling you today, Cade. I just didn't respond. I didn't respond. I'm about to go an entire conversation why I didn't respond and all that. So I was like, no, I might as well just let it be. I'll text him tomorrow.
Is that fighting fire with fire? He's gonna yell at me for not texting him back for 2 days straight. So I'm all like, what I'm gonna do now? I'm just not gonna text him back for the 3rd day because that's gonna make it so much better. Yeah. Instead of confronting the problem and talking about it, I'm just not going to deal with it at all. That's Cade's life motto. That's how he's going to end up being a billionaire one day.
He's going to not deal with it or work it.
Cade's going to be sitting around eating a bag of Doritos, and all of a sudden he's going to come up with some sort of simple genius life hack that everybody needs, and he's going to make multi-millions off of it. Like the kid's going to be rich for nothing, and I'm going to work my butt off to be like middle class. And Cade's going to be living large off of nothing. God.
Just be proud of who you are. That's all I ask.
Not fair.
Just be, all you got to do is be, all I just want you to do is,
what Cade said.
Did you say I can marry into money?
I mean, there's nothing wrong with marrying into money. It works.
Yeah, dude, I hear you.
Well, okay, fine.
Go for it. If you can figure that out.
Hang on. If Cade can just marry into money, though, if we're okay with that, then like, why can't I sell feet pictures for money? I don't understand.
No, you can't sell feet pictures.
That I could make like $5,000 off of just stepping on cakes. Right. I don't know why that's not cool.
Cade, you'd be a great house if you'd learn to cook and wash. You could be a great house husband. You'd be perfect at it.
Cade took cooking once in high school and is like, I can cook you whatever you need.
You can't.
You just
all right. All right, so Peyton, you're not going to do feet pictures. Cade, you're going to work on marrying somebody who marrying into money.
God, we're all on the right track in life, huh? G-Dad would be so proud of all three of us for that conversation.
Right. Love y'all very much.
Yeah, we love you too.
We'll see you next week.
Now, whatever you're going through, you're not alone. You are a part of the Meaningful Meeting, presented by the Radio Network. Copyright ATJ Inc. 2022.